Shifa Sheikh, I am getting the message that you will be removed if the
Yes, ma'am.
recording is starting. Is it like that? No.
Yes, ma'am.
You also got the message?
No, ma'am, I didn't get it.
Acha, okay then. Okay then. So continue. You can hear me now? Okay. So J-shaped curve is telling us that when the time
Yes,
passes,
ma'am.
you will find that the population density goes on increasing and it reaches the peak and there will be sudden decline. मतलब फिर एकदम से population खत्म हो जाता है. That is happening in your J-shaped curve. Okay, and in the S-shaped curve, you will try to understand कि gradually, very slowly, the increase in the population is seen. Then it increases further fast. इसके बाद फास्ट एक लेवल तक जाने के बाद में then it becomes stable. That is shown in the S-shaped curve, which is by the blue line. Can you see the blue line? So that is S-shaped. So now
Y-
if you try to
yes, ma'am.
understand the uh, ग्राफ, एक लाइन डॉटेड बना दी गई है. उधर से आप देखो कि रेड लाइन तो अबव पर जा रही है, बट यू फाइंड दैट द ब्लू वन ग्राफ इज शोइंग that it becomes stable. Okay, so try to understand in the lower organism, lower plants, na, we get the J-shaped curve. But in the higher plants and the higher animals, we find the S-shaped curve in the population growth. Okay, so just the curve you have to learn, you have to draw this diagram, this graph in your notebook also. Achha, everyone has drawn that HIV replication.
Yes, ma'am.
Only none
Yes,
has
ma'am.
drawn. Others have not drawn.
Ma'am, I also don't.
Huh?
Ma'am,
If you have
Manjul.
drawn, write down in the chat box. Yes, that can be done. So I'll come to know. Okay, Manjul has drawn, Nandini, Poonam, Alina, Aditya. Okay, Pranjal has also completed, Yogesh has completed, Anjali Gill has also completed. Fine. Okay, so remember you have to keep on doing the work. Okay, Astha has also that. Fine. So you keep doing the work whatever is given. Our planning is what? Okay, Shifa has also done. Fine. So you understood the planning that what you have to do, you note down in your notebook. ओके, जो भी हम लोग का प्लानिंग चलती है, जो टाइम टेबल अपन सेट करते हैं, यू नोट इट डाउन. So put today's date and note down that this Wednesday, what will be the day?
I'm 15.
So write it. 15th, Unit 5, 2 chapters. Unit 5, 2 chapters, test.
Ma'am, when is
Okay,
the
Unit
MCQ?
5, yeah. Again,
Ma'am, when
yes,
the
Astha?
test being MCQ multiple?
I'm not getting your voice, Astha.
मैम टेस्ट मैम MCQ होगा क्या?
Yeah, it will be
ओके मैम,
MCQ. Okay, it will be MCQ.
थैंक यू मैम.
Okay. So both the chapters will prepare and it will be judged by the MCQs only. Okay. So 2 chapters, weightage 12 marks, मतलब बोर्ड के लिए 12 मार्क की तैयारी हो जानी चाहिए. Then next Wednesday you write down. Next Wednesday you will prepare unit number 4. Unit number 4, and you will prepare chapter 8 and 10. Chapter 8 and 10. Sorry. And what will be the weightage for these 2 chapters?
12.
Weightage has been changed
14.
for this unit. 14 or
Ma'am,
14?
14 marks है.
14.
Yeah, 14 marks. Okay, correct. Yes, आगे 14 marks. तो 7 marks. तो ये भी आपका इस मतलब in July month you will complete the preparation of how much marks then?
26.
26.
26 marks. So this should be clear to everyone that your target is that you will complete the 26 marks preparation of the theory in the July month for the board exam. Okay. So shall I start with the new topic, children? Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
share. I'll share my screen. Sorry. Sorry. So I'm starting today with the topic drugs and alcohol abuse. So put the subheading in your notebook. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All can see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So write down drugs and alcohol abuse. It's a very interesting topic, children, and very general sort of topic. But few things are there which you'll have to learn. Okay, some scientific names will be there, and then some chemicals name will be there, which is present in these drugs. Okay, and the rest of things what we will be discussing, it is just the general thing. But specific points, specific reasons you will have to remember. Then only your answer will be correct. Okay, so now we start with the topic. Now, first of all, we'll discuss that what is the reason why the children, any boy or a girl, takes up to these habits. Why starts consuming the drugs or why starts drinking alcohol. So now the reasons are there. Reasons for taking the drugs or the alcohol. Number one is to get the relief from stress or due to peer pressure. You take up separately. First one, that is to get relief from the stress. Second, that is due to peer pressure. So sometimes just people think the boy or a girl thinks कि अगर ये drugs लेंगे तो stress कम हो जाएगा. Okay, and that's why they start taking it. The second is due to peer pressure. So some friends will say that you try, and then they start taking it. And then, so in the beginning, remember it provides relief from the stress and induces a temporary feeling of euphoria, that is happiness. Did you understand? Now physical and mental. Now once the थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेस कम करने के लिए या पीयर प्रेशर से अगर ले लेते हैं तो उसके बाद then the body starts demanding, and then the dependence starts, and that dependence only for a particular chemical substance, we call it as addiction. So the definition you should know, children, that what is addiction. So physical and mental dependence on a specific chemical substance is known as addiction. Did you get it, everyone? Noted all of you what is addiction? The physical and mental dependence on a specific chemical substance is known as addiction. Now we try to understand the next thing. So drug abuse. What is a drug? It is a chemical which is prescribed by a medical practitioner for the treatment of any physical or mental disorder. Can you all hear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, drug is a chemical which is prescribed by a medical practitioner for the treatment of any physical or mental disorder for a limited time period. So we call it drug. Drug is actually the medicine only which is given to you. But what happens if the person starts taking those drugs without any such problem? So then the dependence starts. The continued and indiscriminate use of such drugs is called the drug abuse. What is it known as? Drug abuse. Now we'll start with the different groups of it. You have to understand what are opioids. The opioids are the drugs which are obtained from the plant, that is a poppy plant, Papaver somniferum. So opioid group name you write down and write down the name of the plant. So what is the scientific name of the plant from which the opioids are extracted or derived? Aditya, name the plant.
Poppy plant.
Poppy plant. Tell me the scientific name.
Ma'am, Papaver somniferum.
Correct. Okay. Everyone should learn it. Okay. Here only in the class only all of you all have to think that I have to prepare. In the 40 minutes time, don't think that the lecture सुन के चले जाना है. Okay. No. You have to learn it that much. So what is the plant from which the opioids are obtained? Now I want
Pep,
someone else
pep,
to repeat. Someone else to repeat the name quickly.
मैम पेपावर सोमनीफेरम.
Next person. जल्दी जल्दी बोलते जाओ.
Ma'am, Peppa was so.
पेपेवर सोमनीफेरम.
Very quickly you have to know, you should say these things. What is it? Again,
Peppa was somniferum.
Papaver somniferum, that is the common name is poppy plant. और इस पार्ट से क्या चीज यूज करते हैं अपन ओपियोइड बनाने के लिए, ड्रग बनाने के लिए? रिमेंबर इट इज द लेटेक्स. So put a dash and write it in your notebook, latex. Short में बस लिखते जाना. Okay, so the plant is Papaver somniferum. Then you write down dash that it's a latex system. Now what is latex? Try to understand. Just as in the arc plant, कौवा जानते हैं ना?
yes,
Everyone
ma'am.
knows.
Yes, ma'am.
So in the arc plant, you get the white milky substance if you plant the leaf. That white milky substance is only known as the latex. तो कॉफी प्लांट में भी ऐसा ही लेटेक्स निकलता है and they collect that latex and they protect the drug out of it. Okay, and the example of the opioid group of the drugs, it is morphine. What is it? What is the name of it? You all have heard about morphine? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No. अच्छा, ओके
यस मैम.
चलो तो आगे से हम लोग देखते हैं. Just a minute. So now write down the group of the opioids. Everyone write down that it is these drugs bind to the opioid receptors. It binds to the opioid receptors. We are discussing in the beginning the first group of the drugs, and that is which which drug we are talking about?
Opioids.
Opioid.
Opioids. So you can see in the picture the poppy fruit is there. So the poppy fruit they are showing. but the drug is obtained from the latex. So try what all things you have to remember from this opioid, that you remember first the name of the plant, then it is obtained from the latex, then you write down very carefully, that is what it is doing. It binds to the, it binds, it means what?
Opioids.
The drug will bind to the receptors. Can you all see, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can note down present in the CNS. You can write down the abbreviation for your remembrance. That is CNS is the central nervous system. So our central nervous system includes your brain and the spinal cord. So the receptors of the opioids are present in the central nervous system, that is in the brain and the spinal cord. So these opioids will bind to those receptors. And these receptors we find in the gastrointestinal tract. In the gastrointestinal tract. The examples you can write down. What is it? The heroin. Heroin is one drug and it is commonly called the smack also, children. And what is that chemically? हमको common नाम भी याद रखना है and you should know what is this chemically. So it is diacetylmorphine. What is heroin chemically? Diacetylmorphine. You should remember what is the chemical name and physical properties of it. So what are the physical properties of this chemical, that is diacetylmorphine? It is white in color, it is odorless, bitter, crystalline substance. Bitter, crystalline substance. So diacetylmorphine, now try to understand how this heroin will be obtained. Heroin is obtained by the acetylation of the chemical morphine. By the acetylation of the chemical morphine. So it is known as diacetylmorphine. And from where you will get that morphine? Where we get that morphine from?
Ma'am, latex, from the latex of the poppy plant.
Very good. From the latex of the poppy plant. Okay, and the receptors are present where of this drug?
CNS and gastrointestinal tract.
Tract. Very good. Okay. So everyone has understood this much. So what are opioids followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Now next thing, remember that how it is taken. What is the method of taking these drugs? That is mac, heroin or the morphine. So it is taken by snorting and injection. Taken by snorting. Snorting समझते हैं क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that? Snorting
Ma'am,
means?
नाक से खींचना.
नाक से सूंघते हैं हम लोग तेज से, तो and then it goes inside. So taken by snorting, and another way is injection. And everyone,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, how does it act? What is the nature of it? That everyone should know that this heroin or the morphine, it is a depressant. What is it? It is a depressant. So depressant means what? That it will depress the central nervous system functioning. ओके तो काम स्लो होगा कि फास्ट हो जाएगा?
Slow.
स्लो हो जाएगा. ओके, वेरी गुड. So now I hope everyone has understood what is opioid. Shall I take up the next drug now?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we take up the next drug?
Yes, ma'am.
So the second drug, everyone is able to hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Pranjal, are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो अलग से नोट्स बनाने मत बैठना. वॉट एवर वी आर डूइंग चिल्ड्रन, ट्राई टू प्रिपेयर ऑल योर नोट्स हियर इटसेल्फ इन द 40 minutes. फॉलोड. अलग से फिर डबल डबल काम मत करो. Okay, try to read the book and try to do it here in the class only. So opioids, this much everyone should know that what it is, what is the plant, from where we get it. It is the papaver somniferum. It is obtained from the latex of this plant. Then the receptors of this drug, we find it in the central nervous system and the gastrointestinal tract. And the common drug which we obtain, it is the heroin or the morphine, that is the chemical, it is a morphine, commonly called heroin, or the smack. And when you see its physical properties, so you find it is white in color, it is odorless, bitter in taste, and crystalline substance. Now, what is the method of taking that drug? So the people take it by snorting and by just injecting into the body. And what effect does it have on the body? It is a depressant. Okay, it is a depressant, so it will slow down all the body function. It slows down all body functions. Everyone has understood this much?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now I
ma'am.
take up this next
Yes, ma'am.
drug, that is cannabinoids. So can you see here in the picture cannabinoids? Commonly, do you all know what is it called?
Cannabis. Marijuana.
हाँ, marijuana.
Bahua.
कॉमन में मालूम है उसको? भांग. ओके, इसी को भांग बोलते हैं, जो कॉमन, बहुत कॉमन होता है. ओके, सो cannabinoid, now write down what is the name of the plant. So the name of the plant is, anyone knows? Cannabis. Write down, it is cannabis sativa. So the name of the plant is cannabis sativa, and it is obtained from the inflorescence of the. तो किस पार्ट से मिलेगा cannabis sativa के?
Inflorescence.
Inflorescence. हाँ, from the inflorescence. And I hope I don't have to tell you what is inflorescence.
Ma'am, flower part.
That is the group of the flower, is only known as the inflorescence. Okay, so it is obtained from the inflorescence of the plant. And other part, that is the flower tops, leaves, and the resin, that is also used. So remember, inflorescence, flower tops, flower tops, and the raisins and the leaves. Now, how many have visited Haridwar and all? Rishikesh? There, na? जो वहाँ पर साधु लोग रहते हैं उन लोग को देखा होगा कभी, दैट दे टेक अप सम लीव्स, वो वाइल्ड उगते हैं आजू बाजू, जैसे अपन कॉमन लीव्स अपने यहाँ पर कैरेट ग्रास उगा रहता है, सेम वे ना इन दोज हिली एरियाज यू फाइंड दिस प्लांट ग्रोज। बिल्कुल उस प्लांट की जैसा दिखता है जैसे अपने गेंदे का फूल है, जानते हैं सब लोग, मैरीगोल्ड।
Yes, ma'am.
यस और नो बोल दिया करो, नहीं तो समझ नहीं आता यू आर लिसनिंग और नॉट। You have seen that marigold plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So just like the marigold plant, na, this plant looks. And leaves are also like that only. What those people do, they take those leaves and they will rub it on their palm. And now when they rub it on the palm, what will happen? पूरा उनका palm green green हो जाता. They'll throw the leaves and then they will rub again further and they'll take out that green juice which sticks on their palm, and they fill in the paper, that paper cigarette sort of they'll make it, and they fill in that and they just smoke it. So that is a common method. So this is a very common weed which we get it in the hilly areas. And what, so that's why I'm telling you all these things, that each part of it is used for making the drug and it has got that effect. So inflorescence is also used, the flower tops are also used, the leaves are also used. What else I said? The raisins. What is raisin? Do you know? Gum raisins, you know. उसके अंदर से गम जैसा substance निकलता है. That only we call it as raisin.
Reason.
So that is also used. And the common drugs now. So it's given in your screen. Can you see? Can you see here? The common drugs are which ones? Marijuana, then hashish, charas, and ganja. You can write the names, the common drugs. What are the common drugs obtained from this cannabis plant? Cannabis sativa. So two species are there, cannabis sativa and cannabis indica. So sativa, we get marijuana, and from indica we get hashish, charas and ganja. Noted everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now what is the method of taking it? So inhalation. What is the way of taking? Inhalation. उन लोग सूंघते हैं. And the other method is ingestion. What is it? Oral ingestion. Because people eat it also. हशीश, चरस, गांजा ये सब ऐसे खाया भी जाता है. How many students have understood this much? And it
Yes, ma'am.
affects the cardiovascular system. तो याद रखो, opioids affects the central nervous system, but the cannabinoids affects the cardiovascular system of the body. It affects the cardiovascular system of the body. It affects cardiovascular system. So is it very clear? Shall we move to the next group of the drugs, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it is already 45 now. So the next one is the coca alkaloids. Write down the next group of the drug, that is coca alkaloids. And the plant name you can note down here. It's given, the plant name is Erythroxylum coca. Erythroxylum coca. And it is native to South America. It is native to South America. Now, which system is affected and what is the way of taking? So remember, it transports the neurotransmitter. It interferes with the transport of, it interferes. Coca alkaloid, what it will be doing? It interferes with the transport of the neurotransmitter, dopamine. Interferes with the transport of neurotransmitter. What is the name of the transmitter? Dopamine. Interferes with the transport of the neurotransmitter dopamine. So this way you can understand that this drug is also affecting your central nervous system. Okay, so it is also affecting the central nervous system. It is having the stimulating action. It is having the stimulating action. So common drugs you can write down, that is commonly it is known as the cocaine. What is the commonly called? Cocaine. And the way it is taken, so it is snorted. It is snorted. And the person once takes it, because central nervous system gets affected, it produces the sense of euphoria and the person will feel energetic. The person will feel energetic. Euphoria means happiness only. Increased energy will be there. So, and if the person takes too much, so then there will be the senses of hallucination. So remember, this is very important. Okay, will cause hallucination. Or excess doses of the coca alkaloids causes hallucinations. So hallucinations means, children, that what is not there, that the person will see. Person is lying on the bed sleeping and will feel that he is flying in the air. ओके, तो जो नहीं होता है वो सब उनको दिखने लगता है. So in the own world, they go in their own world of imagination, you can understand. That only we call it as hallucinations. So cannabinoids, remember these drugs, the cannabinoids are taken by the sports persons. Okay, so we have completed the 3 drugs, children. We will start with the other ones next. It's already 4:50.
मैम मैम आई हैव वन डाउट.
हाँ से
मैम जैसे मैम ओपियोइड्स लेने पे बॉडी फंक्शन स्लो डाउन हो जाता है और कोका एल्कलॉइड्स भी लेने पे हेलुसिनेशंस होता है, तो मैम ये कैनाबिनॉइड्स लेने पे मैम जैसे इट अफेक्ट्स द कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम, तो मैम इसमें क्या होता है बॉडी में?
So that will also increase cardiovascular, the blood pressure and all.
तो
हाँ, cardiovascular मतलब हमारे blood circulatory system को affect करेगा, so that will increase. Understood ना? Understood?
yes
हाँ, so I am stopping the sharing. So your work is what? Your work is what for Wednesday? What I have given?
Prepare for the test
हाँ,
of Unit 5.
how much marks you have to cover up for the board exam?
12 marks.
12 marks का. तो वो आपको क्या ध्यान में रख के पढ़ना है? That you are preparing for your board exam.
Board exam.
हाँ, once you have given this test, so you will not touch those 2 chapters again. You have to keep on moving ahead. Okay, so don't leave any topic from those 2 chapters. And then for next Wednesday, you'll prepare another 2 chapters. Follow. So we'll do Shanti part quickly. I'm just stopping the recording.